Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. Here we got Night Owls for March 7th of 2021. We're way into the future now. Where's my Blade Runner? Damn it! But very happy to have you guys with us, and I'm happy to be back. It's been 10 days. I've been in internet prison over here. Haven't been able to do anything whatsoever, but it was kind of refreshing too. I read a book or two, you know. That's what I've been doing. I've been sitting here in the dark reading in my exile to the 80s. So how you been, Thundero?
I am well. I have no complaints,
That's
which is
good.
good considering a week and a half or last week I had many complaints.
You did. Well,
Oh,
we weren't here to talk about it. So what complaints did you have at that time, sir?
I was just sick. I was just real
Oh,
sick.
that's right. That's right. You were. Yeah, yeah.
Ended up having to go to urgent care and get some antibiotics. Kind of sick, like real deal sick. Almost had to go. I almost hospitalized myself because the pain was just, whew, real bad, real bad. But I'm all better now.
Well, that's good.
All better now.
Did you know I just clicked on this to share, which I hope you guys are doing. I hit my share on my Twitter like I always do, and they say they no longer support this browser because Brave doesn't work with the Streamlabs. I'm sure they have some
Hmm.
kind of deal. I use the Firefox for these shows. So Firefox Mozilla is no longer supported by YouTube. Perfect. So no Twitter announcement.
Oh boy, you can just copy the link and paste it that way.
Yeah, if I wanted to bother, I guess. Yeah, sure. Uh, let's see. We are live, bitches. All
That's
right. Why? I don't know why. Let's see here. I guess I should bother, so I will bother. Here we go. All right. I've copied the link, and then I'm going over to the Twatters, which is no longer supported. Wow. I can't bring Twitter up on Firefox at all, dude. What the hell? Let me see if they canceled Twitter. That'd be nice. Let's see here. No, dude.
wouldn't that be just a better world? No Twitter.
Holy shit. We officially support version of the following on Edge, Safari, Chrome, Firefox. This is Firefox, dumbass.
Is it need updated?
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. I do not care, Thundero. They can have it. I
He
don't
has he
need
has
Twitter.
he has completely run out of care. In
I
fact,
have, dude. They can have the Twitter all they want, dude. I don't. I really didn't. Never really cared about it anyway. I never knew how to use it properly. People always complain. Just you're stupid. All right, thanks. You know.
it's very enlightening when people just call you stupid and don't tell you why, right?
Ah, well, it's all right. I just accept it. Yeah, that's fine. Well, see, that's the
Okay, I'm
benefit,
stupid. That's
Thundero, of
fine.
not giving a shit. You know.
Yeah, when you're just completely out of them, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. Well, see, I belong to the school of Lemmy. You know. Hopefully, everyone here got that reference. If you did, turn in all your cool cards, please, immediately. Freaking Lemmy. He died a few years back, didn't he?
He did indeed. He
The
is a dead
immortal one.
being.
Yeah, I didn't think
He
he
was
would.
supposedly God, I was told. That's what I heard, but
We
apparently not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did one of my favorite. Thank you, Joe. I am happy to be back, dude. I've been locked out of the internet here for about 10 days. But my favorite quote from Lemmy. It's not even a quote, but my favorite statement from Lemmy was that there was an interviewer saying, talking to him. He says, it's been reported that you slept with 2,000 girls. He says, oh yeah, that's not right. It's more like 1,000. It was awesome.
Uh,
Freaking Lemmy. Uh,
he somehow found a way to flex while being humble.
I know, right? I know, right? Yeah,
That's pretty good.
it is.
Oh
Hey,
no, that can't be right. It was more like 1,000. It's good. I like it.
it's perfect. Yes, he is rocking in the afterlife, Bob. He certainly is. It's a wild Chester. It is. I'm happy to be back, guys. I've actually been jonesing and come on and chat with you guys. One of the things that's really cool for me to come onto these shows It's just a chance to talk with some Americans or some Westerners, and to be able to use English. I spend all day in Japanese mode, right? And I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. You don't realize how disconnected you get from your culture, you know.
Hmm.
So for me,
Indeed.
it's yeah, you know,
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
yeah. Let's see. Joe said Jester just played his hand and threw down the ace of spades. Yes, I did, dude. Ace of spaces. He means spades, I think. But yeah, no, Lemmy's awesome, dude. The thing about Motorhead is, even the later incarnation. I actually think I prefer the later incarnation to the original one. I know that's blasphemy, but it's not for everyone. And I think a lot of people get shocked and pushed away from Motorhead, but they don't bother to sit and listen for a minute, because the reason people love Motorhead is not only just the brisk assault that is Motorhead, but the lyrics are actually really good.
Hmm.
And I don't think people can hear or understand the lyrics half the time because they're so assaulted by the sound. But Lemmy was a really good songwriter, dude. He
Yeah,
talked about some real shit, and I think that's why he had staying power. Really, you know, it's
could
the
be.
lyrics. It always comes down to storytelling, Thunder. Anyway, I do have a bunch of things to talk about. You want to talk about those today? You want to get into it? I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let us begin.
Yeah. Now, as you guys know, I always like to start these shows off with a board game or some kind of game of some kind. I'm trying to warp their little minds and turn them into gamers, Thundero. It's my evil plan. Yeah. But anyway, the first one here is called The Game. I've kept it very simple today. Now, this is the new version of the game you can get for Pandasaurus. Of course, you can buy it anywhere. I'm sure they have it at Target and stuff. Now, this is a really good game because it's one of those quick, fun games you could play at a party. You could play with anywhere, just a little pack of cards, kind of Uno-sized deck. But it really, really works well. And it kind of explains the pretension of the name, The Game, right? But i- the This is the newer version. It's kind of more colorful. I have this one. I have the original version, which I think is cooler. But I don't know. Maybe you can find both. I don't know. But the thing about this game, it's very very simple. You have a hand of cards. And everyone at the table is working together. You're not really fighting against each other per se. And what you're doing is there's a number in front of you, and you have to either go above the number or below the number, and then the next person has to too. But it's there's restrictions in how you can do that, and ultimately the challenge is can the group of players play all 99 cards. So you're kind of working together to get all 99 cards on the table. Now, that sounds very simple, and ultimately, in theory, it is. But it's not, because you got these four lines, as you can see here on the side, with two hundreds and two ones, and you're trying to get them all on the board using these four rows together. You can even play solitaire, but I don't think it's fun that way. This is definitely a great party game. And it's one of those games that creates a lot of hemming and hawing against each other, and like, oh, what do you do, what do you play that for, that kind of stuff. It's exciting, and it's a simple fun game, and it's one of those games that I really think you should have in your repertoire, especially if you're a family type of guy and you got your kids come over playing, and the adults are sitting around the table having a drink and a chat, and just a couple, or sitting there playing games together. It's really really good game. Now, have you ever played the game, Thundero?
I have not.
Yeah. It definitely fits along with the Uno and the Skip Bo and all those other kind of more, generic type of games. But it's different and it's fun. It creates that atmosphere of fun, and that's for me what is a successful game, right? Something that makes the atmosphere, makes the situation fun, and this one does it. So I kind of advise you guys to check it out. I'm sure it's cheap. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was under $20. It might have even been under 10. I don't think it was that cheap. But you can pick this up, I'm sure, anywhere, real cheap. Buy it, try it. It's an easy game to add to your list. Do you have any Uno at your house, or any of those kind of skip bows, or the simple little card games you pick up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Both of them, in fact.
Oh, you do. Oh, there you go. They're
Yeah.
fun. They're a lot of fun.
Oh yes. Skippo is something my family plays a lot, actually. Well, we don't, not so much anymore. We used to. When we'd have get-togethers, somebody play some Skippo, unless somebody's playing poker.
Well, there you go. I mean, poker's fun too. Poker's a lot of fun. But
Mm,
you might want to pick this game up, Thunder. It's great for that situation where you have another couple come over and you got four players or something like that.
right.
It's quite a bit of fun actually. But I'm going to move away from fun now. I do apologize, but it's time to move into non-fun territory.
No more fun.
No more fun
Fun's
anymore.
canceled.
Lemmy with Hawkwind was a thing to behold too. It was, dude. Yeah, that's true. Hawkwind and that the boob girl. That's all I ever could pay attention to was the boob girl. But whatever. Moving on. Thunder.
Speaking of canceled, eBay delists recently canceled Dr. Seuss books for violating offensive material policy. That's interesting, eBay, because I can buy pretty much any level of degeneracy I'd like off of your website,
Yep.
and that seems to be fine.
Yeah, well, I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment. I'm prepared, Thunder. But
That's good.
there are a couple of comments here that I have to say, though. There are many articles. There are many. This has been going on for about a week, well, in the middle of the week when it hit, I guess, and I couldn't talk about it, of course. But they've been everybody and their brothers getting on board with this. Universal Studios is rethinking their Dr. Seuss land or whatever they have it, whatever they do with that as a ride or something. And it's like, why? Now here's the thing. Dr. Seuss, from a point of view to myself and certainly Thundero here, he wouldn't necessarily be on our list of invitees to Christmas dinner. That guy was a howling
Yeah.
leftist,
Mhm.
right? And he wrote an entire series of books, a whole bunch of books about anti-racism and stuff, which I don't really have a problem with. It's not a bad thing actually. But
Mhm.
of all the people in the world, of all the writers to call racist, this guy, someone's not paying attention. You know what I think, Thunder? I think someone didn't do their research again. Uh-oh.
No, no, they just don't care.
Yeah.
This is just a gross exercise of power. That's all it is. They know Dr. Seuss wasn't a racist, an evil, bigoted man. He was Dr. Seuss. He might have been at one point in his life, but there's that little word that starts with a C and ends with an E called change. Some people actually do it. They grow and they mature and they become better people and they lose some of the things that would be, considered distasteful at best in their character.
I don't think he was ever that way. I think he was a
I don't
hardcore
think he ever
leftist.
really was either.
Yeah.
I think what he was doing was he was making illustrations, because there are illustrations that he did that were, they're overtly racist. But
Are they? Is it
yeah,
just because he
but
drew a
you
Chinaman
can
looking
make
like a Chinaman? I don't get
no,
it.
like making black people legitimately look like monkeys. You can make
Have you ever been to Africa,
racist
Thunder?
artwork. You can make racist things. You can even make racist statements and not actually be a bad person.
You just totally ignored that. You just went right over my statement there.
No, I heard you. I did ignore you. I was making my point.
Yeah.
My point is, you can, as an artist, especially, you should have the ability, and you used to make things that are offensive, even if they're things you don't agree with, just to make them, just to prove a point, just to tell a joke, whatever.
I'm offensive.
Plenty of comedians have done it. Yeah, you do it all the time. We do it on this show all the time. People take us too seriously. Plenty of people, comedians and whatnot especially, and directors of movies and whatnot, have made things that they obviously don't agree with, but they're making them because those things exist. Yeah. So they're trying to represent them, whatever they may be. A great example, Mel Brooks movies.
Oh my God.
How many of those movies have tons of racial slurs in them and a real, you definitely couldn't make them today, let's put it that way.
Oh, he loved making.
Do you think he was... Yeah, do you think he was an evil Nazi? He secretly loved Hitler? No, of course he didn't.
Jeez. Well, we do got people over here in the chat. We got Pixel. He says, what are you talking about? Fun just arrived. Hey, Pixel. Alan says, on game nights when couples come over, we put our keys in a bowl. Oh, that got dark.
Uh-oh.
Oh, goodness. Chester's going to buy a copy of Mein Kampf on Steam, on stream. I could. Canceling Dr. Seuss is stupid. How absurd it is. I mean, wow. Gerda the Turtle was an allegory about Hitler and anti-racist fascism. Yeah, no, he was a full-on lefty, dude.
Yeah,
Funny thing is that Ted Giselle, Dr. Seuss, faced racism himself for being German during World War II. Yes, he did. It's absolute absurdity. It absolutely does. So what I've decided to do in honor of eBay is come over here. Oh, I got eBay. Look what I found. So let's
look
do a
at that
search here.
mixer.
Uh, let's see. That is badass. Smeg. Why the hell would I have a
Smeg.
freaking mixer named Smeg? Someone lost their
Why
damn
wouldn't
mind.
you?
Do you know what Smeg is?
No, I don't even. That's clearly not an American brand because I've never heard of Smeg,
Well,
and I've been
Smeg
working
refers to
in appliances
dried.
my whole life.
Well, it refers to dried semen.
Jeez, God. I'm hoping in the culture that created it, it doesn't.
Who knows? The Germans, it might be a thing, you know. Speaking of Germans, let's see. Let's do their favorite person to hate, Mr. Adolf. Let's see if I can spell that correctly. I believe is it a PH or a F?
It is an F.
It is an F, so he gets the F. Hitler. All right, let's check a look here. Oh, we got a stamp collection. That could be nice. We have a cheating coat. I don't know what that is. Oh, we got pictures from Adolf Hitler's photo book. Nice. Oh, look. Unique 3 items from Berlin's Olympic game set. Very nice, dude. Oh, the
Oh
collection.
no.
Mein Kampf and all kind of nice. Dude, we could get a lot of 6 hardcover books for $50. We could do it. Lots more stamps. People like the Adolf stamps. I'm sure they are collectible, actually. I would think so. Oh, more Mein Kampf. Very nice. Very nice. This is 1 and 2. Very good. Okay. All right. But let's see here. So no problem. This is not violating the degeneracy policy because that's what they put it under. Let's remind you, offensive material policy from eBay. Okay. Now, for me,
Material.
nothing should be banned. We do Amazon. Shut up, Amazon. Um, we do
Except
not
Amazon. Get out of here.
we do not ban any book. The simple fact of the matter, if you go back in history and you check any nation or any group that chose to burn books, how do you think it turned out, Thundero? 100% of the time. Just curious.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
What you do with the knowledge within a book is what makes you a bad person, not the book itself. Books are just paper and print, maybe some leather, or maybe some wood, depending, maybe depending on how quality we got going here. And there is no evil books, there are no bad words. There's just books and words. And what you do with them is all that matters. So I agree with you. We shouldn't ban them. We should if you're going to do anything, if you feel it's just totally evil, then you should allow people to make their own decisions. And if you must, have some sort of class on the contextualization of it. If you absolutely can't refrain, but banning it, saying it can't be bought or sold here, is preposterous.
It is, and
especially when it's freaking Dr. Seuss, for crying out loud.
But the actual answer is bad things.
Ban all of the things. So just all of them.
All of them. Let's see what else we can search that degenerate. Let's see. Ted Danson. All right. Okay. Yeah, he's been canceled several times. How dare he have sex with a very ugly black woman? I mean, this guy. Frick you, screw you, Amazon. Damn it. What else are we checking here? Let's do another search here. We got some Adolf. Can't have Dr. Seuss stuff. We got Adolf. What else can we check?
Oh, what about Mao? Let's look up some Mao.
Chairman Mao. That's probably
good old Chairman Mao.
Chairman Mao. Oh, quotations from Chairman Mao Zedong. Oh, Little Red Book. That's a classic. That's a classic right there. Yeah. Look at that. You can have medals from the revolution. Sweet. I don't think they're real. You can have a picture, put them on your wall. Yeah, that's only 100. That's
by the way,
just
let's contextualize Chairman Mao, the single greatest mass murderer of the last 100 years.
Yeah, no, he beat Stalin.
Good old Mao.
He did.
Yeah, he passed him right up. He just did.
Oh, hold on a second. No, hold on a second now. This is a problem. Asian people being presented as Asians. What? Anyway,
I don't think those are actual representations of Asians. They don't look white enough.
yeah, I know, right? And Amazon's a real bitch, man. Did Amazon buy eBay? I bet you they did. Here's the
Oh,
thing.
that'd be something.
I'm not gonna beat this to death, but stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how quickly these companies want to jump on board. And it's like, who's in charge? Who's sitting there saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we need to think about the bottom line a year from now"? Where are these people canceling Dr. Seuss? How outrageous! I mean, if you really want to piss off the majority of America, just go ahead and do that, right?
Yeah. No, like I said, it's just a raw exercise in power. They're trying to see what they can get away with. If they can get away with
Ooh,
destroying Dr. Seuss, they can get away with anything.
they can. You're a good point, dude. Let's see. Let's check out Gina Carano. She
Shit,
might
let's
be
see what have they
canceled.
erased her as well?
Oh, hold on a
Oh
second.
my!
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I might have to agree with Thundera once. That would be a horrible thing to have to do. Uh, See, back when she was like normal athletic, her face isn't the greatest, but she was bangable, dude. Damn.
Oh yeah, she was built, and she's got
Oh, what's going on here, eBay?
a perfect personality. Yeah, wait a minute. Just what's that? How's that not offensive material?
I know, right? Especially to those middle-aged moms. Oh, but no, Gina's in here. She's okay, so she's not quite the level of degeneracy that is Dr. Seuss. Goodness gracious. And I'm sure Cara Dune things are just selling like crazy here. Cara Dune, poor uh, old Favreau. Oh, look, you can buy him. Damn, dude, $100, $80, $100.
Oh yeah,
Jesus, man, $50. These things are expensive, dude. That's all right. That's okay. Idiots can. $170. Wow. All righty. Well, let's move on. But I think the point is proven. eBay cancels Dr. Seuss. Let me actually
ridiculous.
check it though.
It's probably because they're not trying to cancel all of it, just the problematic stuff.
I think that's how you spell his name, isn't it?
Seuss, I think,
Is it just two S's, no E? Okay.
or Seuss. I'm sorry, I had my
Oh,
vowels backwards.
you can buy them. They're here.
See now, is the Japanese version different than the American version?
Bet you it is. I bet you it is.
Maybe they didn't do it worldwide. Maybe they only did it in America. You know, the land of the free, where we ban books.
That's a fair point. Amazon's done pissed me off now, dude. Let's
What
just
is
let it.
that? Some kind
Let's
of
just
app?
let it.
What
Yeah,
is
they
that?
want you to buy shit. Here, buy it here instead. Buy it here instead. Um, but that's actually an interesting thing that I've had access to living in Japan. Is the fact that many things you guys can't see that are canceled, that are hidden on Google and YouTube, particularly Twitter or Facebook, they don't bother to do it outside the states. It's very specific. One of the ones I remember very clearly is what was it, a year or more ago, maybe 2 years ago, when Steven Crowder was complaining that they were blocking his stuff. And he asked for his people living that watch him who lived outside of the states if they would check, and I did. And the first thing came up, Steven Crowder, exactly where it should be. But in America, of course, you couldn't find him. It was all about people saying negative things about him, and he was what, 5, 6 pages down. So they do that, man. They specifically will, uh, you know, derail stuff and tank stuff in the states, particularly. So now here's the thing that I have a question for you, Thundero. They have the ability to specifically do things by region on Google. What does that
Yes.
tell you? Now, I'm not talking about just YouTube. We know YouTube, you can change your destination. You can watch YouTube in America or Britain, just like many other things, and that's why VPNs are so useful. But Google itself, which is just a big old web browser, right? It doesn't have localities. It shouldn't matter where you are, right? But yet they can actually manipulate things in a region. That's interesting, don't you think? No?
No, I do. No, sorry, I do. I was reading the chat. Yeah, it's interesting and it's terrifying. It's far more power than one entity should have, and yet for some reason, well, I know the reason. It'd be money. Because our politicians in America are bought and paid for, Google's allowed to have that much power.
Yeah.
Literally the only reason, because I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with anybody, any one entity having that much power. I mean, they have more power than any king in the history of the world.
They do.
What they
Yeah.
can control.
They do. And I still attest, although people argue with me over it, that whole Mandela effect thing is freaking Google testing their quantum computers, dude. It's just them testing to do exactly what they're doing by affecting what you see in your region, so that they can be bought by propaganda. Just think of the amount of money that certain companies certain countries might pay to Google to be able to control their internet in their region, right? There's a lot of money,
Exactly.
and I really think the whole Mandela thing was that. Yeah, the Great Reset. You're right. I mean, they actually put out a flyer. It's not even a meme, dude. They put out a flyer saying you will own nothing and yet be happy. It's not a
Yeah,
meme.
there's a video of it of oh, what's his name? I can't remember his name now, but basically the king of Europe currently, because he's a big head guy in the World Economic
Oh,
Forum,
the Belgian guy.
and yeah, and he said it just right in a video. You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he smiled like that was like that. I mean, excuse me. I think I will continue to own things and continue to be happy. Thank you.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. But that's all right. Now let's move on from this idiocy. I mean, my God, is this stupid? Let's see if we can find more stupid. I bet you we can. Go ahead.
Critic and vlogger, the critical drinker, deems Enola Holmes fanciful and forgettable.
First things first. I am so happy that the drinker is getting more exposure and being invited to more things. He's on Midnight Edge now. He's getting a bigger name because I've been watching his stuff for a while. You guys probably too. Not only is
Mm-hmm.
he funny, he's actually a pretty good movie critic. He's fair.
Oh yeah.
He's straight
Well,
up
he's a
fair.
professional writer, like a legitimate, published everything professional writer. Been doing it
Yeah,
since he was like
that's true.
19.
Yeah.
So he knows how to. I mean, he's been doing it. So success is the greatest indication, generally speaking,
Hmm.
of competence, and especially at that level where it's like it's probably not because he knows the right people in Hollywood, so he gets to keep doing things, or it's definitely not because of politics, because he clearly doesn't have the politics that the establishment would want him to have, and so it's just got to be competence. I haven't read any of his books, but if they're anywhere near as good as the scripts he writes for his videos, they're probably great because those his videos are fantastically scripted
Yeah, no,
from
they are.
beginning to end.
Yeah. He's good. He's good at what he does. He's fun. So I'm just I just wanted to kind of give kudos to him for finally getting a bit of respect and starting to get some more exposure because I think he's really good at what he does. Anyway, um, of course he's talking about this new Enola Holmes, which I didn't even know existed. So
Me
in some
neither.
way I can blame the drinker. How dare you expose me to this, sir? Um, but there's two things that come to my mind here. Two things. One, I don't know about you guys, but I've read every Sherlock Holmes that Sir Conan Arthur Doyle wrote.
Hmm.
I've read them all.
I
Some
think I have too, but I did it when I was much younger.
Oh yeah, me too. Some of
Yeah.
them were required, I think, were like school reading or something like that. Others were just of my own
Hmm.
volition. It's pretty good writing. I enjoy Sherlock Holmes, and there's been some great adaptations. I think my favorite one is the one that came out in the '80s. I can't remember the dude who was playing Sherlock Holmes, but I thought he presented him most accurately to the book anyway. Did you ever see that one?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. Anyway.
It's a good series. It's quite long. They I think they cover every story possibly, but it was just really well done from the BBC back when they weren't stupid, and it was just a faithful retelling of the stories. If you haven't seen those, I don't know, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's from the '80s, Sherlock Holmes '80s, BBC. It's really good. All right, go check it out. Anyway, nowhere in any of my reading of Sherlock Holmes did he have a sister. Yeah, I could go check, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember his sister either.
Yeah. And the sister, of course, is the absolute most awesome thing ever. Of course.
Of course, right? Yeah, she's the best.
Raised by the mother because the father was gone. The mother made a truly strong and powerful woman, which, of course, is amazing. It sounds like I did watch the Drinker's review of this. I tend to watch everything he puts out. And he said, although there was a little bit of nonsense with the Sherlock Holmes character, which was being played by Henry Cavill, by the way, in general, they did show respect to Sherlock, nevertheless. But Mycroft, they showed no respect to whatsoever, which is kind of ironic because if you ever actually read the Sherlock Holmes books, you would know very clearly that Mycroft is actually the smart one in the family.
Right.
Right? Well, he is. I mean, that's
Uh,
why he has an important government position. You see, Sherlock is really good at what he does. He's a genius, and he has amazing amount of memory capabilities. But Sherlock has problems. He gets depressed. He gets distracted. He has a cocaine problem. Right? Why
yep.
do you think there's a Dr. Watson with him anyway? Right? Initially,
Right.
I got kind of caught up in his adventures. He's there to look after him. And one thing I could say though, Thunder, I don't know if you watched there was a TV series that came out where they turned Dr. Watson into Lucy Liu, which I didn't complain about very much.
I didn't watch it, but I heard it was okay.
It was okay. I
I heard
wouldn't
it
say it
wasn't.
was great.
It wasn't terrible.
But I did love the idea that Lucy Liu, who's a gender swap Watson, but her reason for being there and thus getting caught up in the adventures was to look after this guy who had drug problems and suicidal
Right.
problems. She was an in-house doctor looking after the dude by the payment of his rich family. And that's what Watson was, man. He just kind of got caught up in the missions because he's a doctor. He's a pretty smart guy, and he had a more practical view of things, which helped Sherlock. But the reason why Mycroft was so much better was because Mycroft was a freaking machine. He was in charge of himself at all times, and that's why he worked at the highest level of government in black projects and things like that, and Sherlock never did. But the last point I'm going to make is about what is this David Bobby Brown? What's this freaking chick's name?
Billy Bobby Brown.
Billy Bobby. I knew it was two male names. So Boy Brown here is I don't know why we keep seeing her over and over and over. I don't know why. I saw the first season of Stranger Things and it was okay. That's about
Mm-hmm.
as but much as I could say about it. It was okay. It was almost 80s esque, almost. The idea was fine. It was okay. And then, from what I understand, it went downhill hard. I mean, hard after that. And I don't know why we keep getting this girl keep thrown in here left and right. I mean, I don't get it, dude. But it is what it is. It
Yeah, I
was
don't
solid.
either.
Yeah.
She's not a good actress. I mean, she's not that good of an actress. The way
Well,
they're behaving is she's the second coming of like Bette Midler or somebody. Like she's like this big superstar level of person, and she's just not. Sorry, but she does nothing for me at all as an actress.
she's passable, but that's about it. But I guess these days, passable is amazing. So that's kind of where we come to. Yes, I do live, Eric. I do. Ayn Rand was right, yeah, dude. Like terrifyingly correct. And so was George Orwell. Man, Enola wasn't created until 2006 with the book series, The Enola Holmes Mysteries. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, Eric. Yeah, and it's like I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about someone taking an idea, adding a family member, and creating a detective series for girls? They did it with Nancy Drew, right? But that was at least an original character. Is there a core problem with that though?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not the original author, yeah, you shouldn't change the
Well,
lexicon of the
there
of the
you go.
work.
That's fair.
But
That is
if
fair.
you're,
Yeah.
but what you could do is just add a character who is possible, right? Like him having a sister is not really possible, but him having a daughter that he didn't know about, That's possible.
Oh, with the lady there. What's the lady's name? He was all obsessed with her.
Yeah,
The actress lady.
whose whose name I don't remember,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's totally possible. He could have had a daughter. He could have secretly had a daughter with her, and there you go. You
Hmm.
have to stretch it a little bit, but not as far as just, hey, oh yeah, I have a sister. Just
I never
never
even
thought I
thought. Yeah.
never brought that up before.
But no, I think you make a good point though. By what right do you have to take someone else's creation and manipulate it? Let's be nice, to your will.
Yeah.
There's an argument there, I know, but I personally agree. I think I agree with you. Leave people's creations alone, and we see a lot of this going on. It's particularly in our field that we talk about a lot here with comic books. A lot of
Hmm.
past creations have been absolutely bastardized, and it's like, well, who are you? What right do you have to do that? Right?
And she doesn't even have to be Sherlock's daughter. She could be Mycroft's daughter.
Yeah. That
There
would
you
make a
go.
lot more sense, dude.
Yeah, I don't understand why she had to be a sibling. Why not just make her a niece? And then if you need Sherlock to pop in every now and again for, to validate it or whatever, fine. He's
Well,
Uncle Sherlock.
well,
Fine.
sure.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, and it would make more sense too because Sherlock was in essence very asexual, right?
Yeah,
In general, except when it came to that actress, which damn it, I can't remember her name. Someone find it out, put that in the chat for me. Damn it, it's killing me. I can't remember. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, that was the only time I remember him ever having any kind of sexuality. And that was, I think, one of the things about the character. But Mycroft, on the other hand, it was subtly hinted at that his vice, other than whiskey, seemed to have been ladies, right? So it would make more sense, actually, if Mycroft had a kid or two, right?
yeah.
But yeah, he's back. Yeah, I'm happy, dude. I've been jonesing, man. But I'm happy that things are back up. Although they're not turning the 5G on until April. They said sometime in April we're gonna get the 5G on. I don't even know what kind of world I'm gonna live in with 5G, Thundero. What's it gonna be like? Is it gonna be different,
Faster. I'm
modern?
told it's faster and causes cancer. So,
Oh, okay.
there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're promising multi
How is,
gigabytes a second or something.
how is the cancer rate in Japan? I have no idea. Is it a problem over there, like a big one, like it is here, or?
Uh, Not really. I mean, it's normal human level type of thing. I mean, you got to keep in mind, this is the one of the longest lived populations on the planet, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
have just in this village I live in. I mean, I could throw a rock and hit a 90-year-old. Probably better not to do
probably
that.
probably all that fish.
Yeah, maybe. It makes you really small and anemic, but you
Yeah.
seem to live a long time. That's fair.
Well, and they're
But
small too. That helps. Small people. Big old giant men usually don't live very long.
thanks,
Their hearts give,
Thundero.
their
Thanks.
hearts give out. It's just true.
It's fair. It is fair. But yeah, no, we big dudes don't last very long. But listen, I mean, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have Lupin the Third. Yeah, no, I understand the argument. That's why I kind of couched my comment there, Bullet. But that once again, that's more of a legacy thing. I think we're talking more about bastardizing the actual character, having something that makes sense. So I think for me personally, I don't care that Enola Holmes exists. I
Yeah.
just they just didn't make a good movie again. Is really the problem. But Lupin, now here's a good example. Lupin the Third is a ancestor of Lupin or Rupin, and I think it works fine. But
Hmm.
recently on Netflix, they came out from France with Lupin himself in modern day envisioned as a black dude. Yep, I know that doesn't mean much to the Americans because you guys, you're
Well, it also doesn't
isolated.
make any damn sense at all. But hey, I know a lot of black people named Pin something. Just some kind of Pin. That seems like a common black name.
Yeah, yeah. Devilish Boredom says Chester Irene Adler. Why is he throwing that name at me if so offensively? I don't understand.
I think that's the name you're looking for with Sherlock.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Oh, it is Irene Adler. Thank you. Oh, Devilish Boredom is awesome. I take back any kind of sarcasm I might have thrown at you, sir. I do apologize. She looks like a young Christopher Waltz. Oh, she. Oh my God. Hold on a second,
Eesh.
dude.
Eesh.
they found the rejuvenation. They have the Lazarus Pit Thundero. She does look like a
The
girl.
only problem is when you go in, you come out the opposite sex. It's what are
Yeah,
you
that's the
willing to pay
problem.
for immortality?
Or they just kind of glue little tits on you. You know, it's all right. But uh, I don't want to have anything
That would
against this
explain the
girl.
man jaws.
Yeah, she's
Why
not
so many
pretty.
chicks in Hollywood have these like gigantic Chad-like jaws.
Yeah. Well, that's not her fault though. I mean, it is what it
Well, I mean,
is.
it's not her fault, but she's got one. It's
She
there.
does.
I'm not gonna
But
pretend it isn't.
well, you see this a lot with child actors, though. They look for a certain look in a kid, and then as they become adult, you don't know how it's going to turn out, man. And that's we're seeing a lot of that, unfortunately. And then on top of it, the trend that they don't, you can't have beautiful women anymore.
Yeah.
It kind of just adds on top of it. Joe says, "Did you get your 5G vaccination, Chester? I will in April," they say. The Sherlock lady. Yeah, no, Neo, you're right, dude. It is Irene Adler. That's the only time I ever remember him, getting all hot and bothered, right?
Mm.
But anyway, for me, this right here, the only problem is it's another shot at mediocrity from Hollywood, is what it is. If you're going to take this from a series of books, maybe they were successful, and you're going to take this actress, which people seem to like, well, then write an amazing story, dude. Make an awesome
Hmm.
movie. I mean,
Yeah.
just and if you watch the Drinker's review of it, he's always fair. That's the thing about the Drinker. He's snide and sarcastic, sure, but he's fair, right? If you go
Yeah.
watch this review, it's just another lame attempt by these idiots that are running Hollywood right now. But whatever. Let's move on. Goodness gracious. Oh Jesus. Fucking. Go ahead.
Oh boy. YouTuber Mr. H Reviews calls out Justice League actor Ray Fisher for being a liar.
Yeah. Now we've been watching the saga of Fisher here for what, a year or more? It's been a while, dude. And turns out he lied. Oh, are you shocked, Thundero? Are you shocked?
Oh no, I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And how could Mr.
Oh
Ray Fisher, holier than God himself, how could he
yes,
possibly ever lie? It's
the most correct man of all time, the most in the history of the world, Ray Fisher, and he lied. I'm stunned.
I'm stunned.
Actually
I am.
stunned.
I am. Now, this article here is talking more about Mr. H reviews, which I think I've seen Mr. H reviews before. I'm pretty sure I have, and he calls out Ray Fisher on a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to get into that. You guys can go read this article if you'd like. It's at Bounding into Comics, which you guys I use their format mainly here. Look how good it looks on the screen. But he makes a lot of assertions, and I'm going to be fair with you after reading this article. I think a lot of Mr. H's points are picayune. I do. Should I not use that word? Do people understand that word these days?
I didn't hear it. What'd you say?
Picayune.
Picayune. Now that's a vocab word I don't think I
Yeah.
know. I think you caught me.
Yeah, I went all British on you. How dare I? But
Yeah, I don't
picky,
use British words.
picky. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, niggling. I don't think I'm supposed to use that word either.
Yeah, you're not. You're really not supposed to use that word anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how that. I don't. I have to go check the etymology of that word. I don't know that that actually is related to what people would automatically think it is. I don't think so.
It's not.
I think it's
It's not at
referring
all.
to like a worm-like movement.
Well, the word that word that we're talking about that we're not allowed to say on YouTube that everybody gets offended by doesn't mean what they think it means either. But
Oh,
details.
which one?
The one that sounds very similar to niggling.
Oh, Dr. Seuss. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
all right. Anyway, but the thing that caught my attention in this article, and therefore why I put it up here, other than the fact that we have been following this story, is this right here. Um, there was an investigator hired to look into this situation, and her name is Catherine B. Forrest. And she's done a lot of interviews, multiple interviews with Hamada and stuff, because I understand that he's made a lot of accusations against Hamada, Walter Hamada, who's kind of the guy over there in charge of the DC stuff now. And in her investigation, she found that not only did he not interfere with the investigation at all, like Mr. Fisher had made claims to, he actually was incredibly accommodating, even though he really didn't have to be. And
Yeah.
also the fact that he hardly had any conversations with Fisher at all. There was hardly any interaction whatsoever. Because do keep in mind that Fisher attacked a lot of people. Josh Whedon, he affected, who's the DC guy that they brought in for consultation? Damn it. But you guys know what I'm talking about. That guy,
Jeff Johns?
yeah, Jeff Johns, yeah, that guy. And but he was really hammering at Hamada because, well, Hamada's in charge. That's why he wants attention.
Hmm.
And she went and she did her job, and she found that none of that is true whatsoever. None of it. Yeah. Let's see. Or thank you, Joe. Joe went and why did someone hold that?
What happened?
Why? Huh?
I wasn't looking at the chat. Oh, it's.
No,
I didn't.
I tried to let it through. No, YouTube did it. Well, basically, Joe went and found to niggle 1590s implied in wriggling. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Working in a finicky, fussy way, trifle, be employed in petty caping, a word uncertain origin, Scandinavian source. Yeah, no, so I thought it was referring to worm-like movement, therefore being picky and uncertain and stuff. Niggling. But YouTube doesn't like it. They have banned you, sir. I do apologize.
That's hilarious.
But whatever. We can't show it. They won't let it. They won't let it come up, Joe. But I knew that. I knew that it wasn't at all what people thought. Nevertheless, back to this. So he's clearly full of it. And the one thing I will mention about Mr. H's diatribe into Fisher here, which is quite extensive, is the fact that he's made a statement that Fisher has no end game. This isn't about trying to get to a final conclusion or solution. It's just about making noise. I am
Yeah.
black man, respect me and cancel everything else. And we've been saying that from the beginning. I mean, for like a year, we've been saying that, Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
He's just pulling the old Jussie Smollett
Yeah,
and trying desperately to get attention.
yeah, it's the race card. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Joe says Facebook just blocked the Seuss post for me too. Yeah, no, they have control, dude, and we know that these all these companies work together. They constantly move and do things unilaterally, even though they're supposed to be separate companies. And like I mentioned earlier with the Mandela thing and the quantum computers that Google has, they have the ability to interact with everything, and they are working with each other very, very closely. Is it Facebook technology that has actually allowed them to pick that out of the algorithm, or is that Google technology? Fair question, right?
Right.
Nevertheless, let's move on from this. But this is a truly silly boy. He's a very silly
Yes.
boy. You had an opportunity to possibly become something. Cyborg has never been the biggest, most popular character, but no one was really complaining about your character from the movie. There were plenty of other things to complain about. And you had an opportunity here to just keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, do the best job you can do, and possibly have a character get its own movie and and maybe become popular. He had an opportunity here, but by going the lazy route and trying to get instant gratification from playing your race card, you've actually absolutely screwed yourself, dude. Even the woke bastards in Hollywood won't touch you, man.
Right. Oh, these people.
So
I
stupid.
tell you, it is dumb. It's just dumb. There's really no other word for it. He probably could have potentially, kept working on high profile stuff, especially if this Zack Snyder Justice League is good. It could be. I doubt it's going to be, but it could be.
Yeah,
And let's say it leads to other Zack Snyder DCEU movies, and he would be the guy they would pick probably. But
probably.
I don't know. I don't know about now.
Well, it also goes with John Boyega, right? Now, what John Boyega came out and complained and made a lot of noise about Disney, he wasn't wrong. In this case,
Correct.
Fisher is full of shit, right? But
Yes.
but what Boyega was saying was very simply that they hired me because I was black. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, right? Obviously, they hired you because you're black. Because these liberals, these progressives are actually racist, dude. Are you getting the hint, right? But what he said wasn't wrong, but I guarantee you he's not getting any work anytime soon, dude. Guarantee it, right? Because if you haven't learned, you're a black man. Don't upset the liberals, dude. If you're black or gay or a female, you better do exactly as they say, or they'll cancel you, right? Gina Carano,
Right.
Exhibit A, right? But yet, who did we see stay pretty much silent? Daisy Ridley, and she's got a new movie coming out with Tom Holland, which looks like absolute shit. But nevertheless,
Yes.
she's getting work. She's getting work, and she was in that remake of Murder on the Orient Express as well, which she was effectively boring as usual.
I mean,
But
that's kind of her
it's kind of
shtick at
her.
this
It's her
point.
shtick, yeah. But she's getting work. She's getting work because she basically shut her mouth, right? Stay out of it, right? Yowza Comics. And what if it says if the globalists had a weapon that could change reality, how would we know it? And what if the only person that could save us was Booster? Fair enough, Yowza. Fair enough. And we wouldn't know it. You're right. I'm terrified now. Okay, here we go. Now this, I want to be happy, Thundero. I want to be happy.
Uh, Cowboy Bebop leaked set photo gives first glimpse at Netflix live action adaptation. Uh,
Now,
Somebody needs to stop Netflix. Someone needs to just stop them. Stop them now. This has never worked. They've never made a good one. And not just a good one, they've never even made an okay one.
yeah, no, I'm very concerned. Cowboy Bebop is a lot of fun. Of course, we all love Cowboy Bebop because it's such a well done anime. It's fun, and of course, it gave us Firefly as well. Keep that in mind. And not that Josh Whedon would steal anything from anybody else, but nevertheless. Um,
No, ever. Never.
However, I did see a Netflix movie recently my wife wanted to watch that wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It didn't, and it had no wokeness in it beyond the fact that it was the cast was black actors, which in itself is wokeness these days, I guess. But it had that dude that plays Falcon. What's his name? Mackie something Mackie.
Yes.
Yeah, something Mackie. Anyway, it was called Outside the Wire, and we watched it. It's not a bad little espionage sci-fi movie, action movie. Not bad. The only problem was the other black dude who was brought in because Mackie, spoilers, becomes the bad guy, as if you would think he wouldn't be. Um, uh, Mackie, it was the other black kid that was in there, young black man. He was pretty good, dude. That's not a bad actor right there. I want to see more from him. I thought he was pretty good. But Mackie himself, man, he's just boring, dude. He's just not that interesting. What do you think about his Falcon portrayals?
They're what they need them to be,
Yeah, I
which
guess
is
that's true.
a good second or third character in the movie, and that's about it. It's just,
Yeah,
I mean, he's not bad. He just is. He's there.
yeah. Same
There's
thing in this
no
movie.
great depth to him. There's no great, emotionality that needs to happen in his performance. He just needs to be there and do what he does with just the right amount of snark, and that's what he did.
Yeah, that's
So,
about right. He does have a touch of snark. Anthony Mackie, thank you. Yeah, I don't have anything against him. He's just not
no,
very interesting, dude, man.
and he seems like a good dude too.
He
Like if you
seems
watch some of his
yeah,
interviews or whatever, he
that's true.
seems like he's not an idiot like most of Hollywood. So
Yeah, no, he is the guy that plays the Falcon, Roger. You're right. But like I said, Outside the Wire, it's not a bad movie. Go check it out. I mean, I was kind of surprised. It's a Netflix original that wasn't horrible. I mean, that's rare, dude. But it wasn't a bad movie at all. It's just the thing that really hit me was that the other Black kid. He's a new actor. He's very young, 20 something, I guess. He was not bad at all, dude. He was pretty good. And if he wasn't in the movie, I probably wouldn't have liked it, actually. But
Yeah.
Mackie, he's there. He's kind of boring. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to this here. It just made me think of it. But you want to take a look at this live action
Uh,
set photo leak? You
no,
want to
but
see it?
let's see it.
We gotta look at it here. Uh, okay. Now, here's my question. First of all, why why are there two yellow little push boards sitting right here in front that have helmets on it? How gay have we become? How gay have we become? Um, other than that, why even bother writing an article about this photo? I mean, come on. What is there to write about this photo? There's nothing here, dude, other than the fact that it looks like that our main dude is being replaced by a black guy. That's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me. Um, why? He's like the only Japanese in the damn cast anyway. Why did you what are you doing to the Asian representation there, Netflix? Jesus Christ. Then you got old Spike over here, and he's Asian for some reason. You got this other girl over here who she's supposed to be. I don't see Einstein. I don't see any of that stuff. So maybe it's before it. But I just don't understand why we even need an article yet. Wait until we have like a dozen set photos and then do something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, and this anybody who doesn't assume this is going to be a tragedy on brought to film is just lying to themselves because it's probably I would actually put good money on this being a terrible experience to watch for
Yeah.
anybody who's even remotely a fan of Cowboy Bebop. And if you're not a fan of Cowboy Bebop, I don't care about your opinion on Cowboy Bebop.
Of
Sorry to
course.
tell you,
Yeah.
because it's a damn masterpiece from beginning
It
to end.
is. Mhm. No, Bebop is a really good series. It's really good storytelling, great animation. Cowboy Bebop. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And the music selection is freaking badass. Yes, I know his
Yeah,
name is Jet Black. Yeah, yes, and he's not a black guy. Oh, I see. Hellrod is being sarcastic. Whoo! You almost caught me there, Hellrod. I caught myself. Pitchester, his name is Jet Black, so he's a black guy. There you go. I get you. I get you. But wasn't Jet like the only actual Japanese in the cast? I mean, I know he calls himself Jet Black, but he was actually a Japanese dude, wasn't he? Or is it just the
I believe
girl?
so.
Right?
I
Because the
believe he was.
yeah, because in this story, they're out in space, and I don't know if any of them were actually born on Earth itself. Maybe Spike was. No, he grew up on Mars, didn't he? I think he grew up on Mars. But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. But I just don't understand. This photo doesn't do anything at all. It doesn't tell me anything other than the fact that Jet has been replaced by a black dude for some reason. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And why is Spike Asian like that? He wasn't in the thing. He was intentionally drawn European. Dumbass. Anyway, let's move on. I'm here we go.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you right there. Nintendo destroys PlayStation sales in Japan. That's not new, is it? Focusing on fun instead of activism.
All right. Now, I put this up here not because it's necessarily interesting to you guys, but because it's interesting to me. So, self-centered and all. But I've lived here in Japan a long time. You guys know that. And PlayStation, Sony itself, is a holy relic, if it were, right? There's many successful Japanese companies, Honda, Panasonic, et cetera, et cetera. They're very successful and have made Japan a very wealthy country. And good on that. But for some reason, with the Japanese people, it's always been about Sony. And it might be because of Sony, of course, comes from the Sunny Boys, which is an expression here in Japan during the wartime, and it's not the name of anybody; it's just kind of a nickname, and they just went with Sony, right? But the success story of the guy, where the American military guys found him repairing radios, and they're like, "Hey, you're pretty good at that," and they helped him go over to America and get a study. Those Americans and their racism. And he came back to Japan, found a partner, and they founded Sony, and the rest is history. But for the Japanese, Sony is everything. It represents their climb into economic dominance, right? So
Yeah.
for PlayStation to be outdone by anything is shocking. But what happened was two things. Nintendo, no matter how many times they stick their feet in their mouth with full force, they came out with the Twitch or the Switch. Is a Switch? I think it's a Switch. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Hmm.
Little handheld thing. Man, that just absolutely dominated every market, not just the Japanese one. And Nintendo keeps putting out just family fun. That's what Nintendo does, right? Whereas
Hmm.
PlayStation, with their PlayStation 5, had a bunch of problems with its launch and troubles with the machines themselves that irritated the Japanese. And so many of the games have a bunch of the nonsense. You got to understand, the Japanese don't want any part of your SJW progressive politic bullshit. They do not care about your nonsense. And these games from PlayStation, the initial launches have a lot of it. And the Japanese are just, yeah, I ain't playing that. I ain't playing that. So what we've seen happen is every kid in Japan has a Switch. Every kid. I
Hmm.
mean, I have lots of kids in my school, right? Every one of them has a Switch. Every one. None of them have a PlayStation. None of them. That is shocking, dude. I cannot believe how far Sony has fallen. It's unbelievable. I just would have never expected the Japanese to ever turn their back on Sony, ever, because of it's almost held in holy status here, dude. But yet it's
Right.
happened. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Sony is, it seems to be anyway, slowly trying to transition into a more American company than they
Well,
are a Japanese one.
Well, they base themselves on Anaheim, and they let the Anaheim people run things, and that's a mistake. The bosses over in Tokyo, they need to take the company back. But they don't seem to be, they don't do anything. They drag their feet. And I understand it's because the Japanese in general, particularly old men in Japan, they don't get the West. They don't understand what's going on. It's like, it is money. Why don't you, I just went, he's not Indian, he's Japanese. Damn it. But they don't understand the concept. It's about money, right? You make something that people like and make money off of it. They don't
Yeah.
understand what's going on in the West. They don't get it. So they figure, well, let the Westerners handle it because that's where all our money is being made. And they've made a huge mistake, and they need to pull it back. But I wonder if it's too late. Whew, I don't
I don't
know.
know. Could be. It is interesting though that Nintendo consistently dominates the market by just doing the thing that video games are supposed to do.
Yeah,
They're fun,
they're fun.
crazy. They're not like the game director of World of Warcraft when asked how they decide to make their games or how they decide to put systems in the game, and he said, "Well, we look at the metrics." And one of the old game directors was watching that video and he reacted to it and he just stopped the video and he's like, "No, you should be looking at what's fun." And then somebody else asked him, the Blizzard's game director for a while, how do they decide what's fun? And again, he said, "Well, we just look at what people do the most."
Yeah,
That's that's not
genius,
how that works.
genius. Unbelievable. And Bullet, you're correct. And yes, thank you, Devilish. I thought Spike was from Mars. Bullet says, I mean, Sony has been ignoring Japan since they moved their headquarters to California. Yes, they have. Sony, I've been watching the past 10 years Sony fall like a brick, dude. It's shocking. Me Green Like King says, Nintendo has a fairly strong stance against the political nonsense that pollutes everything in the U.S. To a point. Sounded like Booster for sex for a second. Oh, Zach has got Booster on the mind. Hey, Zach. Uh, Grand Sumo tournament starts next week. By the way, yeah, finally, yeah. Bullets laughing at Zach. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to put this up because that is shocking news. I know it doesn't mean much to you guys, but living here in Japan, that is freaking insane, dude. But it's true. It's true. Moving on here. Oh, goodness gracious. Go ahead, Thunder.
New open world Dungeons and Dragons game announced.
Now, what would you expect I would say about that?
You would probably like it.
You would think, right?
Yeah,
Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out soon. They've had the open beta, which people have been excited about. It's kind of buggy, but we'll see what happens when it really launches later this spring. And of course, we have Neverwinter game that's okay. You got the original D&D Online, which is still fun to play, by the way. So I would love to have a Dungeons Dragons game, and this one is being promoted as reported, excuse me, as being a MMORPG, which you know that I love the best. So this is all good. Dungeons and Dragons multiplayer online game coming in the near future. That should be awesome. The problem is the people who are making it. Hidden Path Entertainment, Counter Strike Global, okay, Defense Grid, and Age of Empires 2. Um, how is this company going to make an MMO? I don't understand. They have no experience making an MMO. The games they make are isometric games or RTSs and things like that. There's nothing at all that would hint that they have any clue whatsoever to make an MMO because they're radically different games. MMOs are very expensive to make and maintain. And they looks like they finished this Raccoon Lagoon game a while back, so they might have been working this for a year and a half already, which is fine. But I'm very skeptical, dude. I don't have any trouble with Hidden Path whatsoever. I'm just like, why did you choose this company? They don't have experience doing this, dude, at all.
right.
It's just shocking to me. Why would you do that? I suppose they could hire people, and that's what this whole announcement is. We have no clue what the game's going to be about or look like at all. It's just that they put out I don't know, a help wanted thing saying they need a graphic programmer, lead graphics programmer, senior technical artist, and a writer. More, I guess, for this Dungeons and Dragons MMO. But I don't know. Does anyone experience is overrated? Do you think, Jeff? I'm playing D&D Online right now. D&D Online is still fun, dude. It still is. Does it have Marlon Wayans? Oh God, Dave.
Oof. What's weird is that they're even making this at all because uh, I'm fairly certain that the new Baldur's Gate game is like tied into the D&D
It
universe
is
directly.
most certainly, yeah, yeah.
So why bother?
Well, that is a isometric game, a Diablo-esque game,
Hmm.
just like the original Boulder Gate and Neverwinter series. And that company did a great job with Divinity, and so far, even though it's quite buggy, when it does officially get launched, I have a feeling it will probably be fairly solid. It's getting a lot of praise, so good on Larian Studios for that, for doing that. But this is supposed to be an MMORPG, which is a radically different game, which is my point. I'll check it out whenever it comes out. Of course, I will. I mean, shoot, I even checked out League of Maidens that launched a week or so ago, and that's not a game you think I'd play at all. Although I'd have to say, that game is not sexy at all. Because well, no, because I'm not interested in playing some booster hentai waifu game. I don't give a shit about that, right?
Hmm.
But actually, it's just it has no content. It's pre-alpha. So I mean, what do you expect? But it the only sexy things in that game, and there's no nudity I saw at all. Although I think you can buy a patch or something like that. But the only thing that's sexy in that game is the art that comes up in load screens, and they have girls in bikinis and they're overly sexualized, right? But when you're running around in the game and talking to people, everyone's dressed normal. It's pretty normal game actually. And it has no content whatsoever. But the content it has is fine. It could be a fun game, I suppose. But it's not what I expected. I really thought Thunder that was going to be some booster style game that he likes, right? And
Hmm.
but it's not. So I don't know. I'm a bit confused. But that game, I think that game's 2 or 3 years out, dude. I really do. It's because there's no content really, and it's buggy as hell, which is okay. It's an alpha. It should be buggy. That's the whole point. But I play a lot of these games. Anytime they come out, I'll check them out. I don't care what they are, and some of them are horrible because I love the MMO. I just can't imagine Hidden Path doing a freaking MMO. I've been playing them for so long. I understand what it takes to make one, and
Right.
they're a bear, dude. They're a bear. That is the most difficult type of game to make, right? Which explains to you why hardly any of the Western development companies make them anymore, right? That's why it's
Hmm.
all over here in Asia. There's hardly any. They gave up because it's a bear, dude. It's expensive, and it's hard to maintain those things. It's really difficult. So I and the only reason I care is because I love D&D. You guys know I do. I'm playing D&D since I was 9, dude. It's a part
Hmm.
of my life. And I don't know. I'll shut up. But
I don't know, man. We do need another really good, I think, and really good MMO. It's just I don't think I've yet to see it in the last very long time.
it's been a
Just
while.
one that is just good, just what it should be, without being too, autistic about it. One that's fun.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Well,
And for some reason, we can't get that.
no, it's been tough. And there's a couple of Chinese ones that look pretty good, but it's very hard to be able to play them because they won't release it to the West because China doesn't need the West. See, the way they think is they got plenty of people in their own country. What they need you for, right? And they're not wrong. But no, the best one when Bless came, everyone was excited about Bless, but that was an absolute disaster.
Hmm.
And the best one I've seen come out in recent times, although I do have my fingers crossed for Pantheon, for more personal reasons, but um, was Black Desert. But the problem that killed Black Desert was their loot box crap, right? They absolutely destroyed it because it's not
Yeah.
a bad game. It's actually a pretty well done game, but they killed it with their loot box, just banging you over the head with it, play to win shit. It's an MMO, dude. What are you doing, right? Just charge a monthly fee. What the hell? I mean,
Well, the reason why they won't do that is because so many of these games have gone free to play, and they end up making more money having loot boxes and microtransactions because people are really dumb
yeah, especially
and
Asians.
they'll spend $30 on microtransactions instead of just paying a $15 sub. They'll tell you things like, "Well, $15 a month is just too much money," and then in the game that they're playing, they'll end up spending 30 or 40 that
Or
same
more,
month.
or more.
Yeah.
We get examples of some of these loot box games over here in Asia where there's a dude that literally spent $1 million on his character, dude.
Jeez.
I mean, it sounds like that's an outrageous statement, but it's true. Yeah. But whatever. I'll check it out. I'll try to keep an eye on this story and see if it develops at all. Probably won't have any news for a year, I'd say. But I'm very wary of this. Nothing against Hidden Path. I understand what it takes. I've been in so many beta tests, dude, beta launches. Not I'm not special. I'm just one of the other thousands that's involved in a beta, just like I'm sure you guys have done. But I've been involved in so many. I've done bug testing. I've done all that kind of stuff over a decade. More than a decade. And this is not an easy thing to just say. Oh yeah, we'll make an MMO. Yeah, good fucking luck, dude.
Hmm.
All right. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
WandaVision director warns fans about possible disappointment. You think? Explains what series is really about.
Okay. Anytime a creator comes out and says you might be disappointed, but it's not
Would
going
you
to be.
like me to explain what this series is really about? They had these two under contract, and they needed something for them to do.
Yeah, that's
There
probably
you
what it
go.
comes down to. Yeah, but of course, all they're doing here, I haven't. I watched the first two episodes. Of nope, right? Even though you guys tell me it got better, I'm like, nah, nah.
It does. It gets a lot better. The last episode is really good, but it's also really disappointing.
Of course it is.
That's all I'll say. I don't want to
That's
spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but there's just so much they should have done and they didn't,
well,
and that's a shame.
and this guy here, the director, explains why you're going to be disappointed. I won't
Yep.
give any spoilers either, but I haven't seen it, but he doesn't really give spoilers anyway. He says that ultimately the whole thing is about loss and how you deal with loss. Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
we thank you. We figured that
for
out.
clearing that up.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And the worst part is she does, like you said, the first couple episodes her acting is way off,
yeah.
but it gets way better
Oh, that's
as the
good.
series goes on. And Paul Bettany's acting is always great. He's a
Yeah,
fantastic
he's good.
actor.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
All the characters in this show, even I think all the characters in the show do a great job. All the actors, I should say, they do a great job doing what they clearly were instructed to do, and they went out and did it. The storyline isn't bad. It would be good if it wasn't for the fact that everybody expected more. And that you could say that's on us, I guess, but the only reason we expected more is because they set us up to expect more, and then it just didn't happen.
Well, and I
And that's a shame.
yeah, it is, and I think what they've done generally with these 20 plus movies they've made, now they're getting into this the Disney Plus stuff, is everything ties into everything else. It's an
Yeah.
overarching story. This is something that is not necessarily tied into anything. It's just talking about her loss. Although I haven't seen it, I would be shocked that there wasn't at least some tie-in. Wow, nothing?
Oh no, there's tie-ins to what's coming, but it's not what anybody wanted in a way, I guess, or maybe it's just not what I wanted. I don't know, but I know I've talked to a few different people, and they've said basically the same thing. It's not that it's bad; it's just that it's not what we expected at all, and it feels to me like the only reason we didn't get what we were expecting, what they had kind of set up, and what everybody just kind of assumed would happen, what makes sense to happen, is because they wanted to subvert. All right, they didn't want us to be right. So they knew what they were setting up, and then they went the other way with it because we can't just give the fans what they want.
Yeah, no, you
That's
can't
not
do that.
allowed.
You got to subvert expectations,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you know what happens when you do what the fans actually like, and you put Luke Skywalker in at the end of your episode, and people hated that. That
yeah.
was
How dare us like Luke
yeah, how
Skywalker?
dare
You
dare you
bigots! You
bigots?
actual bigots!
Yeah. But yeah, it's dumb. This whole subverting expectations. Ryan Johnson is a moron. The fans have told you very clearly he's a moron. All of you that keep
Yes,
trying to do what he does, you're morons. All of you,
yes.
morons. Well, it does tie into
And
Doctor
in my
Strange and
opinion, I
Punisher.
think when you're doing a story like this that is already based in obvious tragedy, right? Because everybody knows why this is happening. It's pretty obvious. She's having a mental episode, basically, and that's not even a spoiler. I mean, just clearly that's what's going on, right? There's something wrong with her.
Yeah, yeah, we all know
Um,
that. We know who she is. We're comic book fans, so
yeah,
we know what
we
she
know
is.
we know her story, and they don't deviate from it super drastically, which is good because it's a good story. But we don't need our expectations subverted at the end. If you're going to subvert our expectations, do it by surprising us with the quality, which you did do through most of this series, except the first two episodes, which I still say should have just been one episode tied together, and it would have make them a little bit shorter and make them one episode. It would have been much better, especially considering episode 3 is fantastic. It would have been way better for the series overall if they just cut out an episode. But whatever. Um, the way to do that, if you're going to try and be subversive in your storytelling, is to do it not at the end of your story, it's to do it in the middle of your story. That's where you want to twist somebody. That's where you want to give people something they didn't expect. Because if you do it at the end, especially in this kind of story I'm speaking of specifically, everybody's kind of like got this built up thing, especially since you staggered the release, so everybody had time to sit around and think what this means, what that means, and obsess over every little detail and every little sentence that came out. And at the end of the day, they all mounted to nothing. To nothing, at least not in the series. Now, they could amount to something going forward in the movies, but in the series, they ended up amounting to nothing.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. That's not what it's the exact right word is it's disappointing.
Yeah, and it's always bad when you see a director come out and saying, "I understand your disappointment." That's not good, dude. But
Yeah,
other than that, the chat has made some good comments. I did hear a bunch of stuff about Luke Skywalker was supposed to be represented in one of the episodes, but that was a lie, from what I understand. But Joe makes a good point here. It's like an arc of a comic book series in the old days. Okay, I have no problem with that. This thing about smaller scale shows like WandaVision is that they can do smaller stories outside the main spectacle, like the comic could do. That's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
All right. But I'm not surprised. I knew what they were doing with this. I knew they were going to do the House of M esque type of thing, at least with her. They might even expound upon it more. But yeah, I don't think I'm wrong for not watching the rest of them, dude. The first two were bad, and I just don't have. And even though the stuff in the middle might be nice, I don't need to be disappointed in the end. What's the point?
yeah.
I mean,
No, I agree with you. The only reason I even watched it is because you said it was so bad, and I was like, it can't be that bad, right? He's got to be being like hyperbolic. But no, the first two episodes, aside from a few bits here or there, are just they're not entertaining.
they're
And
bad.
anybody who says they are is just they're not being honest with themselves,
No,
in my opinion.
and her acting is abominable, dude.
Yeah,
It's
but
really
the third
bad.
episode's fantastic. So this is why it should just the first two episodes should have been one, and the third episode should have been the second episode to just go off and run. The last episode is the most action-packed episode of a TV series or whatever you want to call this I've ever seen. It's pretty much right from the word jump, you're going. And you go for that 45 minutes or whatever the runtime is, pretty much nonstop the whole time.
So that's
And
where they
that's
put
pretty
all their
cool.
money.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I
big
see.
time. Definitely.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Whatever. Well, for the most part, Chester, you're wrong. Thank you, me, Grimlock King. I guess that's my job. All right. So just to
Oh
end up
god.
today, got a few minutes here. I thought I would just kind of look at this thing that Boundary Comics has been being putting together these daily stupid things, and I just thought we'd take a look at it. So we got Daily Stupid, Raya and the Last Dragon, Ape Named Karen, Michael Moore, and Joe Biden. Jesus, what a lineup. Okay, today we got more stupid, including Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon, and orangutan named Karen. Oof, Michael Moore and Joe Biden. All right, well, here we go. Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, I had seen a trailer maybe for this, and it's been getting a lot of flack. I don't know if you've noticed, Thundero, but people don't seem to like it. I don't know why. See, it's coming under fire by arrogant and greedy journalists over the reviews that Disney's marketing team is using to promote the film. Okay, writer Courtney Howard took to Twitter where she wrote, "All white men pulled quoted in this Raya and the Last Dragon ad. Women saw and positively reviewed this film too. Yeah, no, what? That doesn't learn to write, Miss Blogger. This Friday, watch one of the best reviewed movies of the year. Really? Because from what I've heard, it's being canned hard. Howard would then write in a subsequent tweet, Justin Chang and Inku Kang's what? Review pull quotes have also been used on social media, which is absolutely great. It's just confounding that there isn't a better grouping of diverse voices, including in the above ad. So this person's complaining about these people who talked about it positively.
Yeah, their problem is that there's too many white guys. And really, let's break it down. That this chick's real problem is that that hers wasn't in there, or her friend, or whatever. That the women's weren't in there. Well, maybe they just didn't have good verbiage, and they went with the ones that sounded better. I don't know. Crazy, right?
Maybe they
Crazy
just weren't
idea.
wrong.
Yeah, that they looked at them like, okay, that one sounds good, that one sounds good, that one not so good. That they probably didn't look at the full profile of the author when they were compiling this little clip or this list of little clips from the reviews, right? The little segments. They probably just like, I like the way that's worded. I like the way that's worded. Oh, that's from that publication. Use that. I guarantee you, that's all the thought that went into it. There was no more. And that's just apparently that's evil bigotry at its finest,
Yeah, I
racism and
guess. I
white
guess.
supremacy or who knows.
Right. Well, Scott Mendelson, who is Cuck of the Year every year, he even comes out and says, "Yeah, well, there's only actually three white dudes in the reviews." All righty. Well, there we go. So moving on from dumbass. I don't know why it's not talking about the fact that this actually got a lot of negative reviews. People are like, it's kind of crap. I don't know though. I haven't seen it, so what do I? Moving on. But Karen, orangutan named Karen. What's wrong with that? Are you still hoping to get your COVID vaccine? No. Well, you better get in line behind the gorillas and the orangutans at San Diego Zoo. Are they potential carriers? Uh, Several great apes at the San Diego Zoo were given experimental COVID-19 vaccines for animals Wednesday morning. Why is there a vaccine for animals at all?
I have no words. I just I got nothing. I got nothing for that, Chester. I got no answers.
Well, it looks like Winston, the 49-year-old silverback gorilla, got COVID-19. Did he, or did he just get shot in the head and get marked down as a COVID death? I don't know. All right, this looks dumb. Let's go to Michael Moore. That's always dumb. God, this guy. Um, Filmmaker and political activist Michael Moore railed against Texas after the governor lifted all restrictions previously placed in the state in response to COVID-19 pandemic. My question would be to the Texas governor: why were they restrictions at any point? Actually. But whatever, they're losing their mind, and a lot of Californians who have moved to Texas are now complaining, saying, "I can't believe I moved here. I should move back." Please do, please do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Please, they Texans would very much appreciate if you left.
yeah, yeah. It's and Michael Moore, dude, you haven't been relevant since Bowling for Columbine, dude. You know, get a life.
Yeah,
And then last but not least here, well, maybe I don't know if it's last but not but Joe Biden. The White House cut the feed on President Joe Biden after he intimated he was ready to take questions. Oh yeah, I saw this thing. He was talking to Nancy Pelosi, and both of them are they're invalids. Yeah, did you see this one?
yeah. I did.
Yeah,
It's hilarious
yeah,
and
they're invalids.
terrifying at the same time because the president is clearly not running the country. Clearly,
Clearly
if he
not.
can't even take questions from the media whenever he chooses, like Trump used to. I mean, he literally would sometimes just sit down with them and talk to him for an hour, 2 hours. Just what do you want? What do you want to talk about, guys? Ask me some questions. And Biden can't even be given 5 minutes uncontrolled, off script.
Well, let's be fair. The dude has onset dementia or Alzheimer's or something's. He's impaired, dude. Clearly, he is. And he shouldn't be put in front of the camera at all, especially not with Nancy Pelosi, who is clearly also impaired. I
Yeah,
mean, the sad
I
thing
think
for me,
Pelosi's just a raving drunk. To be honest, I think
maybe,
that's her.
maybe. But the interesting thing for me with Joe, and I don't think he's in his right mind to have made the decision anyway. But he went from being a career corrupt politician, which they all are, right, to becoming a villain. And I'm kind of wondering if that's what he ever really wanted to become, though. I mean, being a corrupt politician is one thing, but becoming a villain, oh, that's a whole nother layer, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he knows what's going on most of the time. If I'm
No.
being completely honest, it's I have had a very close, intimate relationship with dementia and Alzheimer's, and this man has dementia or Alzheimer's.
Yeah, he's
He's
got
got
something. Yeah.
something wrong with his brain. It's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably actually a form of sundowners, where once it
Mm,
gets late in the day, he's gone. He can't think clearly, and he becomes basically a child. Um, because you never see him out late in the day, and if you see him at all, and I don't know. It's a terrible it's a terrible situation that the American people are in right now,
it
and
is.
that most of
Yeah.
them don't even realize it.
Well,
That's the worst part.
they'll wake up eventually, or maybe they won't. But Eric is shocked that the YouTube is or Google is moderating your comments, dude. They've been doing it for a long time. Just in this chat, Eric, there have been many things held for review from us. that had nothing in it at all. No swear words. No. I can't. I've gotten beyond the point of figuring out what is offensive now. I don't know. Right? When someone's like, "Yeah, oh, that fucking cunt." Yeah, I get that. I understand that one. Right? But it's got to the point now that they're blocking things that are there's no offense at all in it. Not even something that you would, if you tried to put yourself in the shoes of an SJW, would be offensive. So I don't know what the hell YouTube and Google are doing, but they've lost their mind clearly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're drunk on power.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's ridiculous. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to see here. Yeah, that's not very interesting to be honest with you. But nevertheless, I thought I'd check it out. And women rule, literally and figuratively. All right, fine. Then I'll run to see your movie then, if that's the quote that you're putting up on your film. Because I think we're sick of it. We are. But nevertheless, let me come back over the other side and let's say goodbye. Nice to be back, though. As you guys know, I no choice of my own. I kind of got locked out of the internet here for about 10 days, I guess it was. But back up now. Hopefully, they're still working in the village on other areas. My internet's a little bit slow actually compared to what its normal slowness. So I'm kind of glad everything's gone smoothly today. But they did say that in April they will be turning our 5G on, and that should be interesting. Do you have 5G where you are, Thunder?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Yeah.
They're working on it, but I don't think it's up and running yet. I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't have a 5G capable phone, regardless. So I don't know, but I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of curious. Um, what about you guys in the chat? Have any of you been upgraded to 5G yet? Is it better? What's your opinion on it? Yowza Comic says it's because you talked about flat Earth. Yeah, I did. It's right. I did. Damn it. It's an interesting topic. They don't like flat Earth though. I don't know if you noticed. Waiting for the chat here to give me information. I guess no one's on 5G. They're just ignoring
Which
me.
is weird because you would think that'd be the thing that they love, right? The old flat earthers. But no.
Well, it is an interesting conversation. I mean, a lot of people just dismiss it out of hand, and I don't agree with them. But clearly, they found a mistake in the math. They did, and they jumped to a conclusion. But for me, there's a mistake in the math, and why have teachers and educations and governments been pushing this mistake for decades? Why? It's clearly wrong. It's been proved unequivocally wrong. So that makes you suspicious. And I have a feeling, I've said this before, and I think Thundera has as well. I think a lot of the stuff that they bang on with conspiracy theory, they want conspiracy theory out there.
Yeah.
They do things intentionally to create conspiracy theory. And I have a feeling this flat Earth thing is part of it. Or maybe not. It could just be a mistake. No 5G by me that I know of. All right, well, there you go. Did you see the Vegas UFO? No, I've seen them before. So, anyway, it is time. I got to get out of here. I got to go to work. I am glad I'm back. Tomorrow will be comics news today. No problem. I hope. Fingers crossed. And I don't know, Thunder. I don't know if there's much comic book stuff to talk about, dude.
Yeah, that's. I got a few things we can talk about, but we'll save that for tomorrow.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about Nubia. It's a good
Because
one.
I've been being very nice and holding my tongue on a certain old school CG person for a very long time,
Uh-oh.
and I think it's time for that to stop.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. There you go, everybody. We're going to get kicked out of the internet completely tomorrow. Come see it. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. And everybody have yourself a good day. And we'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Later.
Later.